Hello, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory, Finger Point to the Sky. This is your Sunday episode number 54. I do hope you enjoy it, and if you do me a massive favour right at the start of the episode, hit that thumbs up button. If we can get 3,000 likes today, your boy Lasty will be very, very happy indeed. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. All of that good stuff. Now, we're not going to make you wait at the very start of this episode. I know you've seen the title. You've seen the thumbnail. We have a choice to make because we've hit level 30 in the season objectives, in the season pass, if you like to call it that. So I did this by basically completing a couple of, I was like 1,000 XP away, so I did something in week 6 bronze, a daily objective set, and then I was well and truly over level 30 and I could claim my prize. So I was super close to getting it anyway. Hopefully you guys now know kind of mathematically whether or not you're able to hit it or not if you've still got XP left to grind. But the choices are between, of course, these three. Wilfried Zaha, Corentin Tolisso, and Lucas Vazquez. Now, we're going to rule out Vazquez. He looks like a good player, don't get me wrong. But it is going to be between Zaha and Tolisso. And the player I'm going to choose today is Tolisso. So it's a player which fits better in my squad. He's not actually even going to go into my main team right now. I don't suppose many of you are actually putting these players into your starting 11. Maybe you are. I might be wrong, but like our team is currently a little bit better. I'm interested to try him at some point, but right now I think this is the player that we're going to get into our squad. Knowing that we have a Red Lewandowski who he gets a strong link to, we use lots of French players, we have lots of French players. It just seems like a smart move to get him over Zaha, who I don't typically need, because like if I need a Premier League striker that's first owner, I have either Player of the Month Pukki, or I have an untradeable Rashford. So, like, that's where we lay. That's where we sit, you know. So, yeah, that's the decision we've made. And Tolisso can warrant himself a spot on the bench for now. You know, you never know when I'm going to get bored of Modric or dislike Modric and I'm going to want to change the team up. That could happen literally at any moment, knowing how often I change the team around. So, yeah, hopefully he gets a game at some point soon, you know. You never know. I might need to change the formation. I might need more of a centre mid, more of a CDM, and at that point, does Tolisso fit the bill? Probably. So I'm sure we'll get some use out of him at least going forward. So we are only 2-1 in the weekend league at this point in time. Now I know it's Sunday when you're watching this, so Lasty needs to crack on a little bit with his games, doesn't he? Now these are some games. So this episode is obviously up on Sunday, and I played a few of these games on Friday late night, and then a few of these games on Saturday early to mid-afternoon. And then obviously tomorrow's episode I'll probably finish up from either Saturday evening and Sunday games, depending on when I decide to not be lazy and carry on cracking on with my games. But, you know, I take editing breaks. I come and do this stuff on the Mac so that I can de-stress once I've had a couple of tough games every now and again. So I like to get quite a good balance between when I play my games and when I take the break to de-stress, to forget about that tough loss and then move onwards. But we get a nice 3-0 win and a rage quit really early on in that Friday night session, so that's good. And then we come up against this guy. I would say he quite likes an SBC and he likes a special card, because that is a very special card heavy team. But we turn him with Mbappe. It luckily comes back to us and falls back to us again and again and again. It was like that goal was destined to go in, but we do go 1-0 up with that. It's Kylian Mbappe again. Like, I think he got a hat-trick in the last match, which is what led to the rage quit, and he's already scored after 7 minutes in my next game. My opponent does run down the line and knock it into Aubameyang, who, of course, is a very good player. He's just way expensive for what he actually is this year. I don't think he fits the bill or fits the meta of this game as much as he did last year, so that's why, obviously, we've not gone for him. And instead, we've used our coins to buy the likes of Neymar and Mbappe as well. Excuse me, the voice is still struggling. I'm sure you can tell. But just before half-time, we are able to go down the other end and score a second with Mbappe. So he's doing absolutely class. Then Griezmann knocks it into Neymar, scoops the defender nicely, and that is a beautiful strike into the top corner. I think smart Lasty would probably hit that near post because near post is OP. But a more, football-brained person would probably hit it across the goalkeeper because that's what works in real football. However, on FIFA, it's a little bit different sometimes. So another hat-trick there led to, I think, a rage quit. Either that or we just played to the 90 minutes and nothing else happened in that game. But yeah, we end up getting a 4-1 victory here. We did play to the 90 minutes, as you can see. But I dominated that game, and it was just like, I need to be even more clinical. When I have 19 shots, I need to be scoring like 10 goals. So yeah, I've got to be clinical. And then, so that's 2 wins in a row, 2 hat-tricks from Mbappe in a row. We come up against this team, and I'm like, what has he got? 82 chemistry? What's this guy on? What's going on here? And I give a penalty away with PK after 9 minutes. And I'm like, actually, the guy had a couple of red cards, didn't he? Maybe he's not that bad. Maybe he's not a joke. He scores a lovely penalty, to be fair, with Di Maria. But I think it is this second goal coming up where I just don't know what was happening. Felt like I made a tackle there. And then the ball ends up getting shot off of my defender. It goes in the back of the net. I was just like, that is the most FIFA goal you'll ever see. It just is. So, yeah, it was a little bit triggered by that, and then he ends up actually scoring another goal. I got well and truly beaten by this guy, but I just wasn't happy with some of the goals and the way it happened. So I decided to rage quit before that. That game was done. 3-0, I'm done, let's get out of there and move on into the next one. Sometimes, if I feel like I'm getting very, very unlucky, I'll stick it out at 3-0 in case we can get a couple of goals back and then see what happens later in the second half. But we go from bad to worse because Mbappe literally gets sent off after 6 minutes in this next game. I thought it was a bit of a harsh one, to be honest, because I felt I was to the side of the player, and I don't know why he goes in 2-footed. I don't know what's that to do with me. I just press slide tackle, just go in with 1 foot and scoop that ball around me. It was a weird one, but yeah, we got Mbappe sent off after 6 minutes, so we were already down to 10 for most of this game. But I put Bale up front alongside Neymar, and we left Griezmann where he was. We just didn't have a right mid in this game. That's basically all it came down to, which is a big distribution point for us. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, we actually end up going 1-0 up, going 2-0 up. Griezmann with a lovely left-footed green time shot there. Just at the right angle to whip it round that goalkeeper and get it inside the post. And then Griezmann again, being a nice outlet. A couple of Berber spins, knocking it into Bale. Bale just takes a long touch and strikes it. Now, that long touch is something which I think you guys should be utilising sometimes. Every now and again, I find that doing that, the defenders just weren't ready for it, and I get through and I get my shot opportunity and I score a goal. So it's something that I think, yeah, you should bear in mind. But we come away 3-0 victors in a game where I was down to 10 men from the 6th minute. So that, to me, that was you've done well there. I've outclassed my opponent there to end up winning with 10 men. So yeah, that was a nice one. That felt pretty good, and I think that brings us up to what did that bring us up to? 5 wins or 6 wins or something? I can't remember. We go into another game here. I think that was the 5th win. So we go into another game here. Nice squad. He's got Pep. He's got Sterling. He's got Aguero. He's got Sane. I know that players like that can deal serious damage on this game. So Neymar runs through right off the bat. Berber spin again. That has done the defenders a couple of times, literally in this episode. But sometimes it just doesn't work. So I think it's all about when the defenders actually when they dive in for challenges. That's when you've got to have already pulled off that skill move and stuff. But we get through again. Mbappe unlucky to score, and very lucky for that to fall to Bale to hit on his right foot and still go in from that distance. So I'm 2-0 up in this one. Again, feels a little bit like I'm cruising. Knock it out wide to Griezmann, who I've been really impressed with. He gets a lot of assists. Well, Mbappe ends up getting the 3rd goal there. I would say Griezmann's been better than Bale, which is, pretty big statement, considering his pace this year. But we knock it into Neymar here, get the 4th goal, and that is going to be when my opponent is like, see ya, I'm out of here, and I'm more than happy for that to happen, because it was getting pretty late on the Friday night. This was the final game I played of the Friday night session, and ex-Dijon saved the Turtles. Oh, I'm all up for that, mate. But yeah, he decides to quit at that point, and we get a nice 4-0 rage quit win. So that brings us up to what, 6 wins and 2 losses now. So, you know, not the best, but not the worst start. I definitely. I think, did I have 3 losses or 4 losses at this point last week? It wasn't good, but I decided to stop there, and I decided to do the Friday night SBC, which was Dia de Muertos. I'm not sure. Does that mean Day of the Dead? I'm not 100% sure. There was one SBC called Day of the Dead, which is for a kit. I just didn't have the players in my club to do it. I'm not too fussed about the kit, so I won't bother with it. But I did this one because it offers out a pack, and we should be all good from there. Premium Electrum Players Pack. They're all right, you know. I like a rare Electrum, but a premium is nearly as good. It's just half the amount of rares, isn't it? So we can go on into the store and open this one up. Hope that we can maybe get something. 6 gold. Was it 6 gold, 3 rares? Is that? Oh yeah, that's all it is, right? So this one isn't actually going to be that much of an amazing pack, but we do get ourselves not a good pack. Yeah, it's just a 77 rated player. Like, as it goes, that SBC didn't really cost much to do, but it wasn't really worth it. And but they are the ones that I don't mind doing, because at that point in time, you know what, like, fine, I'll do it just to risk it, and if we get something, we get something. If we don't, we don't. So then we move into the Saturday afternoon gameplay, and this is the first guy that I come up against. Flashback Walcott. It's got Fabinho, Sane, and Aguero again, which is what my opponent had last time. And right off the get-go, we play it from the back here, and as you can see, Modric pushes his way up the pitch, knocks it into Mbappe, out to Neymar, who sees Griezmann. This is some nice passing football, and Neymar gets fairly lucky to still have that ball, but he knocks it through to Mbappe, and I finally get my goal. Took me 26 or 27 minutes to get that one. Because this guy actually, he was quite a good player. I was struggling defensively against him, and I was struggling to actually make the attacks actually work. We earn ourselves a corner here, and look what happens. So I try and aim for a PK header, so I move PK in the right spot, head that one nicely. It is saved, rebounded, and straight to Bale to get that rebound goal, and I felt like very, very fortunate to get that one. And very, very fortunate for this guy who, after I'd scored 1 fairly lucky goal and then 2 fairly lucky goals, he decides to rage quit off of that. Now, it might have just been like a he was triggered type thing. Maybe this is a string of games where things like that have gone against him. But I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd have got back into that game nice and easily if he'd just stuck around, because the goals we scored were not that great. We didn't, the first one, Neymar kept the ball. The second one, dodgy sort of rebound, but it is what it is. Anyway, we go into the next game and we come up against Ronaldo. I don't often come up against Ronaldo, but because people, I think, prefer Messi, prefer Neymar and Mbappe this year. But yeah, it's a strong-looking Serie A team, and this guy was a good player. Right off the get-go, he was doing that thing where you run down the wing and then cut it back, and he was getting a lot of success from it. But I was just about either saving it if he went for the shot, or just about blocking it with PK if he cuts inside. Like, it was nearly going in for him, and I felt like my goal was being peppered. I was pretty much always in my half. The only attacks we were going to get were going to be from like a counter. And as you can see, we're actually going to earn our first goal in this game from a counter-attack from a corner that my opponent had. Just look at it. We run down the wing. He hasn't got enough defenders back. Mbappe makes a great run. Griezmann makes a great pass. Mbappe makes a great finish. And we can go 1-0 up in this game, even though we definitely don't deserve it. Mbappe then pushes forward in the end of the first half, trying to get this game a lucky second goal. We knock it out wide to Bale. Bale decides to cut it back. It ends up going to Modric instead of Mbappe. I turn with Mbappe, take the strike, and it goes out for a corner. And then, well, my opponent, just before the half-time break, runs down with Insigne, knocks it into Douglas Costa. Insigne's getting past my defenders, and I somehow even knock it into myself, or he takes the shot and the goalkeeper saves it. Either way, I was so lucky to be 1-0 up in this game. I just wondered how long. It was like a question of how long as opposed to, is he going to score? I just wondered how long it would take because he was a very good player. Anyway, Griezmann into Neymar, knocks it out to Mbappe. I actually turned up a little bit better in the second half, started doing a couple of things quite nicely. We earn ourselves a corner here. We whip it in. It comes back out. I think Bale whips it in. And Griezmann gets a green-timed header. but it hits the bar. It had actually more power than all of my headers on FIFA 20 combined. I don't know how, but yeah, like it didn't just sort of hit off the side of his head. Anyway, Ousmane Dembele, the sub, knocks it into Mbappe. I turn the defender brilliantly and strike it early, and that's such a nice goal. And my opponent just quits. I was shocked. I'm not going to lie, shocked that we end up getting the rage quit there, because his Ronaldo was starting to feel it. He was starting to get into those situations where he was going to score a goal. So yeah, to come away with a 2-0 win there and bring myself up to 8-2 after losing our very first game of the weekend league. Pretty happy with that. So that is going to wrap things up for the gameplay in this episode, and we will move on in tomorrow's to try and get up to our gold 3 OP status. Now, Neymar's got 255 and 110 in like 230 games. It's nuts. I know some of them are squad battles, but he has been firing, and so has Mbappe. Mbappe's been scoring loads. He's nearly brought his goal to game ratio up to 1, and when it wasn't like that for a while. And of course, he's got tons of assists as well. So yeah, I'm liking the team right now. I would say the 2 weaker options in this squad are Modric and Bale, so I'm not 100% set on it. I may well decide to get rid of them, bring somebody else in, use Ousmane instead of Bale. I don't know. I just don't know at this point in time. We'll figure it out, I guess, but at this stage it's been working fairly well, I guess. So maybe making changes would be interesting, but maybe it would be a mistake. I don't know. You'll have to see in tomorrow's episode. Guys, that is going to be the end of the episode. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. I'd love to see your thumbs up support on this Sunday episode, and of course sub to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. Most importantly, have a wonderful day, you lot. I will catch you later with another video. Peace.